About 146,000 auto workers are getting ready to strike this week if their demands are not met by General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. The union is threatening a walkout in multiple states if they do not reach an agreement on higher wages and benefits with the companies. Their deadline is midnight Eastern time on Thursday. If the strike shuts down production, it could cause a spike in vehicle prices and a shortage of American-made cars in as soon as 2 months. For the latest on the talks with the big three automakers ahead of a potential UAW strike, we're joined now by Ford CEO Jim Farley. Thank you so much, Mr. Farley, for joining us. We'll get to the talks in a moment, but first, Ford will be unveiling the 2024 Ford F-150 tonight ahead of the Detroit Auto Show. Tell us a bit about that and what it means for your company.
Well, the F-150 is the most popular vehicle in America for 41 years and the most popular truck for 46 years. On revenue alone, it's larger than the entire size of Starbucks or Netflix, so it's a huge business for not just Ford, but our economy. I think we're going to end the tailgate wars with a very creative solution. Our hybrid F-150 can power your house for 7 days and get better fuel economy too. So we have a lot of new technology.
Sounds impressive and very exciting, but I would have to imagine that a lot of your attention at this particular moment is on this potential strike. Just break down for us where things stand at this hour on the negotiations between the UAW and Ford. Are you any closer to reaching a deal?
We're really in the heart of the negotiations now. We're about 48 hours until our contract expires, so just about 2 days. This is really negotiations for the future of automotive manufacturing in the U.S. We are putting forth an offer today that's the most lucrative offer in 80 years working with the UAW. Large pay increases, top 1% health care. We're going to be, we have profit sharing. We're going to be adding inflation protection. We're going to be getting rid of all the tiered labor. Our team gets 5 weeks of vacation. They get another 17 days off. A lot in the offer, but this will be the most lucrative offer and will require a lot of belt tightening at the company. And there's a limit how far we can go because we have to keep investing for the transition of the industry. We're very optimistic that we can reach an agreement with the UAW in the next 2 days, and it's very important for the country.
You mentioned that 48-hour deadline. Bottom line, how confident are you that you can avoid a strike between the UAW and Ford before the end of the week?
Well, rhetoric aside, it's time for us to come together. We put in our first offer a couple weeks ago, and we still haven't found the right deal for both sides, but we're still confident that we can reach a deal because it is so important for the U.S. economy and for our country, and for, of course, those 57,000 workers. We're the most committed to the UAW, so it's critical that we find a deal, but there is a limit, as I said. We're not going to mortgage our future.
And what about the union demand on reinstatement of pensions for new workers or their calls for a 4-day, 32-hour work week? Are either of those still on the table?
I think they are from the UAW standpoint, but we can't have a sustainable industry working 4 days a week. Look, we've been very profitable as a company. We're returning from profitability. We didn't go bankrupt. Many of our competitors did. And now we've built this very competitive, profitable company. We have more work to do on that, by the way, on cost and quality. And we want everyone to benefit from that. But we also have to invest in this huge transition to electric, partial electric future, $50 billion in Ford's case, and we need the profitability to invest.
According to SEC filings, you received nearly $21 million in total compensation in 2022. In comparison, the median total compensation for Ford employees was about $75,000. That's a 281-to-1 ratio. Do you think that gap should change?
Well, I think, first of all, my job is to add value to the company and to make sure all of our workforce is handsomely rewarded, that we all benefit in growth. And yes, that's, at all levels of the company, we have to be competitive. But my goal is just totally focused on making sure we have a vibrant future for everyone, especially our factory workers. My grandfather was an hourly worker for Ford, and we want to make sure everyone has a future, but we have to be competitive.
Talk about the potential costs to your company and to the American consumers if a strike does go forward. What kind of impact could that have?
It would be devastating. Our supply base still hasn't recovered from COVID. We have a lot of vulnerable suppliers still. We have so many communities that depend on Ford in Michigan and Ohio and all over the upper Midwest. So this has a huge impact. You know, any kind of significant outage would. Ford has not been on strike since the mid-'70s. We've always worked through this, and that's why we committed to the UAW. The impacts of a strike, especially a long, ongoing strike, multi-week, multi-month strike, would be devastating for the U.S. economy.
Ford President and CEO Jim Farley, we thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you coming on the show tonight.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.